Democracy is undeniably a good thing, but democracy itself is not a complete set of values. The democracy is a process, but then you still have to vote, right? And you have to decide what, a democracy can enact any policy as long as the popular vote votes for it, right? So democracy is at most a partial answer. And you still need other values to tell the people in a democracy, okay, what should we vote for? Should we just vote for our tribal interests? Or should we try to vote by higher ideals? And then the question is, what should those higher ideals be? So I agree that democracy is essential, but it's incomplete. And then the question is, as you said, well, could we ever really agree on a philosophy like, maximize human happiness? I don't like calling it utilitarianism, even though that's the official name of the philosophy, because I think it gives people the wrong idea. When you think utilitarian, you think of like laundry and parking garages and things like that. It's not very appealing, and you can't really march in the street for utility, but you can march for rights. Whatever promotes the greater good, it's ultimately going to have to be framed in a way that motivates people and that connects with people emotionally. It can't be so abstract. And I think that to a large extent, the most common sort of language for morality around the world in a global way is the language of human rights. And the good thing about human rights is that you can march in the street for human rights, right? Human rights is something that resonates with us emotionally, but we can't all agree on which human rights people have. So people in the United States, some people say that the death penalty is a fundamental violation of human rights. And other people say that, no, the reason why the death penalty is good is because it does justice. It does justice for people who violate other people's human rights, right? How do you figure out which human rights people have? There's no formula that we know of. If any of you know how to figure out which human rights people have, please let me know. But I don't think anyone has solved that problem, and I'm not sure anyone will. I think the closest that we can come is to say, well, is a society better off with the death penalty, or is the society better off without it? Does the death penalty actually stop people from committing crimes? Or does it just allow angry people to vent their anger, but it doesn't really solve the problem, right? So what we want is a global moral language that feels good, like human rights. But then, how do you resolve the disagreements that can't be resolved within that framework? And that's when I think we have to go to the higher level. And I think that if we ever solve this problem, it won't seem like utilitarianism. It will seem like a way that we arrived at a common conception of human rights, and it just happens to be one that makes the world much happier than it otherwise could be and eliminates suffering as much as possible.